Hi everyone, I hope you're keeping well, staying safe and studying hard. So I've just had my first mathematics progression test in my A-level class. In this video, I just wanted to do a quick vlog on my thoughts on the test and how I actually did on it. Going into the test, I wasn't too confident about my performance due to the fact that the way the syllabus is being offered. There's nothing wrong with the teaching, it's just due to the fact that the homework that we're getting set and preparing us for the test is a little more challenging than what I was expected, due to the fact that what I'm revising at college and in the textbooks is slightly simpler. Also, we studied quite a few subjects since the beginning of the term and we weren't given any indication what topics will be in the test, which is reasonable because I didn't expect my tutor to tell me what topics there were going to be, otherwise that wouldn't be really fair. Because of these reasons, I didn't hold much hope in doing well. However, I was a little confident in my abilities because I knew that on test day, the mind and body is capable of miraculous things when we put ourselves under pressure. You know, there's a common saying, be prepared to fail if you fail to prepare. Well, I didn't want to be that person. In one of my videos, I told you about my sideways move in my career and at work that brought new challenges and additional pressures. However, I didn't use that excuse to not find time to study. Now, when I was informed about the test, it was roughly 2 weeks out from it. So I made sure I studied at least an hour every day. Sometimes I would do 2 hours, sometimes I would do maybe 45 minutes. It depends on what subject areas I was doing. However, the most important thing about my revision was that I was consistent and I did a little bit of something every day. I knew that if I didn't do well, I didn't want to have the excuse that I didn't revise as one of the possible reasons that I would fail in the test and not do so well. I wanted to eliminate that excuse altogether. Now, test day came and for some strange reason, my tutor decided to do a 45-minute lesson on calculus before the actual test, which is completely strange. Great, so not only did we have a high pressure first progression test, we had to learn about parametric equations. So eventually the test did begin, and I don't know about you, but do you ever get that experience that when you turn over the question paper, your mind goes into this hyper-focused Zen-like mode? I looked at the first question and thought, yeah, I can do this. It was only a 45-minute lesson, and I think if I can remember correctly, there were 7 or 8 questions. All of them I knew how to do, which was a great experience to have. Of these questions, 3 of them were on trigonometry, which goes to show how important trig is of a subject in A-level mathematics. The great thing about my experience was that I attempted all the questions and didn't miss out any. After the test ended, I had that feeling of elation of knowing that, yeah, I put in a really great performance. Now, I'm sure that I got some questions wrong, but that wasn't the point of the test. I didn't really care about that. What I cared about most wasn't about answering every single question correctly and obtaining all the marks. No, it was about the fact that I attempted every single question and I understood the question to a certain extent. I'm proud of the fact that I think I did enough to demonstrate to my tutor that I've been paying attention in class and put in some serious hard work outside of my course. Again, I don't really care about the fact that I got some answers wrong. Perhaps I did. It was the mere fact that I knew what I was doing, and that kind of impressed myself. What I was most proud about was I answered one of the most difficult trig questions that you can not only get in a test but in the whole of the A2 trigonometry section. Let's hope I get the full marks on that, which was approximately 7 marks. So it was a meaty question on trig equations and it was a question on trig identities. As you can gather, I'm mighty proud of my performance last week. If I was to give you a bit of advice about how to approach tests in general, it would be these things. Remember, it's just a test and not a formal exam sitting. For me, it was my first one. You're not dare to be perfect from day one. A test is just to establish your strengths and what areas you need to improve on for the future. Secondly, don't get caught up on wanting to answer every single question correctly and getting full marks. Focus instead on understanding the test paper, as this will give you a good indication of any learning gaps that you have. Also, importantly, as I just mentioned, be prepared to fail if you fail to prepare. You need to find time to revise, no exceptions. If you don't revise, most probably you're not going to do well in any test. Also, have realistic expectations of yourself. Now, this was my first test and I knew that I wasn't going to get a perfect performance. So I just set myself a goal of just wanting to understand the question paper. So make it a point to understand what you're doing and not just focusing solely on hashing out correct answers, which is important, but understanding what you're doing is also fundamentally important. Lastly, have confidence in yourself, as this goes a long way in establishing a positive mindset. If you believe in yourself, then your mind will find the positives and the mathematical connections it needs to do well. Lastly, remember that you can't be perfect always and you have to leave room for improvement. If you're getting perfect scores day in, day out in your tests, then that may not be necessarily an indication of you doing well. It may in fact be an indication that you're not performing at the correct level. So leave room for growth and failure, as failure isn't absolute, rather a process that leads to greatness. I'll see you again soon.